All right, so today we're diving into this book, right? And get this.
Okay.
It claims to be a first-hand account of time travel
Oh, wow.
to the time of Jesus.
Okay.
But here's the twist. It focuses on this mysterious Jewish preacher named Yohanan,
Interesting.
not Jesus himself. We're talking excerpts from Caballo de Troya 8 Jordán by J.J. Benitez.
Okay.
So are you ready to unpack some potentially mind-blowing stuff about Yohanan?
Yeah, let's do it.
His connection to Jesus and all the other bizarre things our time traveler stumbles upon.
I think what makes this deep dive so fascinating is that we're looking at a period of history that's already shrouded in mystery.
Right.
And we're interpreting it through this lens of someone claiming to be from the future.
Exactly. And speaking of the future, I'm dying to know how the book actually explains the time travel part. What kind of technology does it use?
Well, the book is a bit hazy on the technical details.
Oh, really?
It focuses more on the time traveler's experiences and observations than the mechanics of time travel itself.
Okay.
But that just adds to the intrigue, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. It leaves room for our imaginations to run wild.
Yeah.
But let's get back to this Yohanan character.
Okay.
The book paints him as this larger-than-life figure, over 6.5 feet tall,
Wow.
with long blonde hair in 7 braids.
Okay.
The time traveler even calls him the announcer.
Interesting.
What's up with that nickname?
Well, the nickname is significant
Okay.
because it hints at Yohanan's self-perception.
All right.
He believes he's a herald of something momentous.
Uh-huh.
And when we delve into his beliefs, we see why.
Okay.
The guy is completely fixated on the prophet Elijah,
Okay.
who, according to the Bible, vanished centuries earlier.
Okay. Obsessed might be putting it mildly.
Yeah.
The book says he dresses like Elijah, talks like him, even believes he's going to return.
Right.
What's the big deal with Elijah anyway?
You see, this obsession with Elijah wasn't just a quirk. It speaks to a deep yearning in Jewish tradition for a powerful Messiah who would overthrow Roman rule.
Okay.
Yohanan saw himself as paving the way for this warrior king, which makes his connection to Jesus all the more intriguing.
So we have Yohanan, who's waiting for a warrior Messiah.
Yes.
And then you have Jesus, who preaches love and forgiveness.
Right.
That's going to create some tension, right?
Precisely. They're relatives.
Yeah.
But their worldviews clash.
Right.
Yohanan is constantly trying to fit Jesus into this preconceived mold of a conquering Messiah.
Yeah.
Which, of course, Jesus resists.
It's like they're speaking 2 entirely different languages when it comes to their understanding of God and the Messiah.
Right.
And then just add to the weirdness.
Yeah.
Yohanan claims to have had these intense mystical experiences.
Yes, these experiences are key to understanding his character.
Okay.
He describes seeing fiery chariots in the desert,
Okay.
much like the ones described in the Bible. When Elijah ascends to heaven, he even claims to have met a bee-man.
A bee-man?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a new one.
Right.
I've had some weird dreams, but a bee-man revealing God's secrets.
Yeah.
That's next level.
It's
What do you make of that?
It's certainly one of the more peculiar details in the book.
Okay.
But it points to the way Yohanan's reality seems to blend the ordinary with the extraordinary. He's deeply connected to nature through his beekeeping.
Yeah.
Yet he also believes he's receiving divine messages through these unusual encounters.
Speaking of beekeeping, the time traveler actually gives us some pretty fascinating insights into that side of Yohanan's life.
Right.
He described how Yohanan keeps his bees in this colorful barrel, which they had to carefully smoke out to collect the honey.
Yeah.
What's the significance of that detail?
It's not just about beekeeping.
Okay.
The time traveler uses this scene to explain the intricate process of honey production.
Right.
Emphasizing the immense amount of work bees do.
Yeah.
To create something so sweet.
You know, I think the author seems to be subtly suggesting a connection between the bees and Yohanan.
Oh.
Both working tirelessly towards a goal, guided by a deeper force they may not fully understand.
That's a very insightful observation.
And it ties into a recurring theme in the book, the interconnectedness of all things.
Right.
But hold on, the strangeness doesn't stop with Yohanan.
No, it doesn't.
Even the time traveler starts experiencing things that defy logic.
Okay.
He reports seeing these strange lights in the sky, lights that move intelligently.
You're talking UFOs, right?
Yeah. Are we implying there were aliens present during Jesus' time?
Well, it's not explicitly stated.
Okay.
But the descriptions certainly fit the bill.
Okay.
These unexplained aerial phenomena appear throughout the book. They're disc-shaped, incredibly fast, and capable of sudden stops. The time traveler even sees one hovering over Jesus during his prayer in the Garden of Gethsemane.
Wow, that's wild. And it doesn't end there.
What else happens?
The time traveler also experiences some rapid aging.
Oh, wow.
After an accident.
Okay.
But recovers just as quickly.
Interesting.
It's as if the very fabric of time and reality is warping around these key events in Jesus' life.
This raises an important question.
Okay.
What's the connection between the strange lights, the time traveler's sudden aging, and the overall mission? Is it possible these are all linked in some way?
Okay, my mind is officially blown.
It gets weirder. The time traveler isn't just bouncing around Judea.
Yeah.
He's mysteriously transported to, wait for it, China.
He goes to China.
He does.
This unexpected detour to ancient China is perhaps one of the most perplexing parts of the narrative.
Right.
He finds himself working in a shipyard alongside a Taoist shipbuilder named Yu, who teaches him about the philosophy of Taoism. So you've got this time traveler bouncing from Judea to ancient China.
Right.
It's like the author wants to show us that the search for truth, for the divine, can take many forms. You have Yohanan's fiery Judaism use tranquil Taoism.
It's almost saying there's not just one right path.
Right. But ultimately, our time traveler's mission revolves around Jesus.
Right.
And he eventually makes his way back to Judea, just in time to witness a pivotal moment.
Okay.
Jesus' baptism by Yohanan in the Jordan River.
This is a scene familiar to many.
Right.
But the book throws in a twist.
Okay, what is it?
As Yohanan dunks Jesus in the water.
Yeah.
The time traveler sees a blue flash of light emanating from him.
Okay.
A light no one else seems to notice.
Okay, so we've got time travel, UFOs, ancient Chinese wisdom, and now a mysterious blue flash of light.
It's a lot.
This deep dive is taking us down a very strange rabbit hole.
It is.
What happens next?
Well, this is where the narrative takes a truly mystical turn.
Okay.
After this event, Jesus declares that he has become a man-god. Suggesting that this baptism was more than just a symbolic ritual.
It's like he's been activated, awakened to his true nature.
Right.
And from this point forward, his teachings become even more profound.
Right.
Even more focused on this concept of the divine spark within all of us.
Okay.
I think this is a good place to pause for now.
Okay.
We'll pick up the conversation in part 2.
Sounds good.
Where we'll dive deeper into those teachings and explore the strange events that unfold in a remote village called Benitez.
Okay, I'm ready.
Stay tuned. Welcome back. Last time we left off with Jesus having just undergone this intense baptism experience, and now he's claiming to be a man-god. That's a pretty bold statement.
Yeah.
Even for someone who could walk on water, right?
It certainly challenges our traditional understanding of who Jesus was and what he represented.
Right.
And it sets the stage for some truly radical teachings that he'll begin to share in a remote village called Benitez. Yeah.
The book makes it sound like this idyllic place nestled among olive groves. Yeah. But it also becomes the backdrop for some pretty strange events, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Remember how the time traveler was experiencing all those bizarre phenomena, the strange lights and the sudden aging.
Right.
Well, things escalate in Benitez.
What happens?
He loses a vital piece of equipment.
Oh, no.
A cylinder containing samples of Jesus' DNA.
What?
And he's convinced a supernatural entity is responsible.
Hold on. Did you say supernatural?
Yeah.
Like ghosts and goblins?
Kinda.
I thought we were dealing with time travel and UFOs, not a horror movie.
It's more nuanced than that.
Okay.
The book introduces this concept of a whaley.
Okay.
A powerful feminine entity that resides near a spring. The locals, particularly Sheik, the time traveler encounters, believe this wheelie is responsible for the missing cylinder.
Okay, so we've got the time traveler freaking out about a wheelie stealing his equipment.
Yeah.
While Jesus is calmly teaching about the divine spark within us all.
Right.
That's quite a contrast.
This contrast highlights the clash between the time traveler's scientific worldview and the more mystical beliefs of the locals.
Yeah.
He wants a rational explanation.
Yeah.
While the sheikh is perfectly comfortable accepting the existence of the supernatural.
Yeah, I can see how that would create some tension.
Yeah.
But doesn't the time traveler eventually embrace the mystical side of things?
Not entirely.
Oh, really?
He actually tries to make a deal with the Wali.
What?
Offering her gifts in exchange for the return of his cylinder.
He tries to bribe a supernatural entity.
Pretty much.
It's a somewhat comical attempt at negotiation that reveals just how desperate he is.
To complete his mission.
Right, and remember, he's still dealing with the after effects of that rapid aging episode. So he's physically and mentally vulnerable.
Right.
But amidst all this chaos, Jesus remains a beacon of calm and wisdom.
He does.
He encourages the time traveler to listen to his intuition.
Yeah.
To tap into the nitzitz within him.
This is a pivotal moment in their relationship.
Okay.
Jesus is essentially guiding the time traveler toward a deeper understanding of himself, beyond the limitations of his scientific worldview.
Right.
He's saying, hey, there's more to reality than what you can see and measure. Trust your inner wisdom.
It's like a crash course in spirituality for the time traveler.
Exactly.
But it's not all meditation and introspection.
Yeah.
There's still plenty of strange stuff happening in Benitez.
Yeah, like what?
What about that weird guy with the super long arms?
Oh, yeah.
That the time traveler keeps seeing.
Ah, yes, that's another layer of mystery that the book throws into the mix.
Right.
The time traveler first encounters this man near a well in Tantur.
Okay.
And he's described as having abnormally long arms. Later, he witnesses Jesus interacting with this same man in Benitez.
Okay, that's creepy. Who is this guy?
Right.
And what's his connection to Jesus?
I don't know.
Is he like a disciple with a unique physical characteristic?
That's the million-dollar question.
I guess so.
The book doesn't give us a straight answer.
Okay.
Which, honestly, I kind of appreciate.
Yeah, why?
It leaves room for speculation, for us to draw our own conclusions.
So you're saying the author is deliberately playing with ambiguity, leaving these threads open to interpretation?
Exactly.
I can dig that.
Yeah.
It makes the whole experience more interactive.
Yeah.
Like we're solving a puzzle alongside the time traveler.
Exactly. And it adds to the overall feeling that we're only getting glimpses of a much larger story.
Right.
A story that extends beyond the time traveler's limited perspective.
It's like peering through a keyhole into a vast and mysterious room.
Right.
You see snippets, intriguing details, but the full picture remains elusive.
And that's what makes this deep dive so compelling.
Right.
It challenges us to expand our understanding of what's possible, both in terms of our own potential and the mysteries that might lie beyond our current perception.
Okay, I'm ready to dive deeper into that room. But before we do, can you give us a quick recap of where we are in the story?
Sure.
It feels like we've covered a lot of ground.
We're in Benitez.
Right.
This remote village where Jesus has begun to share some of his most radical teachings.
Yeah, okay.
We've got the time traveler grappling with his missing equipment.
Right.
And the possibility of supernatural forces at play.
Yeah.
And we've got these intriguing hints of a larger mystery involving strange lights, rapid aging, and a man with abnormally long arms.
Dude, it's a wild mix of science fiction, mysticism, and good old-fashioned mystery.
It is.
What else does the book reveal about Jesus' time in Benitez?
Well, this is where we start to see the contrast between the extraordinary nature of Jesus' teachings and the ordinariness of his everyday life.
Oh, okay.
He's washing clothes in a river, helping with the olive harvest, all while sharing these profound insights about the nature of God and reality.
It humanizes him, right?
Yeah.
It shows him not as some remote, otherworldly figure, but as someone who's willing to roll up his sleeves and participate in the shared labor of humanity.
Exactly. And it ties into a key theme that emerges in this section of the book.
Okay. What's that?
The idea of interconnectedness.
Okay.
Jesus' teachings emphasize the spark of God that resides within all beings, connecting us to each other and to the source of all creation.
So he's basically saying we're all in this together.
That's right.
It's like he's finding the divine in the act of working alongside others, contributing to the well-being of the community.
Precisely. And this theme of interconnectedness extends beyond the spiritual realm.
Okay.
The book also highlights the importance of shared experiences, both positive and negative.
You're talking about that story of Ajus Darpan, right?
Yes.
The young boy who's ostracized because he's different.
Ajasdarkan is slow-moving,
right,
physically disabled,
yeah,
and possibly neurodivergent.
Mm.
The other children are afraid of him,
yeah.
calling him names like Tortoise and Dead Man.
Wow.
They believe his disabilities are a curse from God.
It's heartbreaking to see how he's treated.
It is.
But it also highlights the prejudice and misunderstanding that often surrounds those who are different.
Yeah.
And it sets the stage for a powerful moment of compassion from Jesus.
It does.
Yeah.
What happens?
He witnesses Ajasdarpan being bullied and steps in to protect him.
That's amazing.
This act of kindness demonstrates Jesus' unwavering love for all beings, regardless of their perceived flaws or differences.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that true compassion extends beyond the boundaries of social norms and expectations.
And what I find interesting is that Jesus doesn't try to heal Ajasdarpan or make him normal.
Yeah.
He simply accepts him as he is.
That's a really important point.
It is.
It suggests that Jesus sees the inherent worth and dignity in everyone,
Yeah.
regardless of their abilities or challenges.
Right.
He's not trying to fix people.
Right. Or force them into a mold.
Yeah.
He's simply embracing their uniqueness.
That's a message that resonates deeply, especially in a world that often prioritizes conformity and perfection. It's like he's saying, you are perfect just as you are.
Right.
But even as Jesus is sharing these messages of love and acceptance, the time traveler is still struggling with his own fears and doubts.
He is.
Especially after his encounter with the Oli.
Right.
He's convinced she's responsible for the missing cylinder.
Yeah.
And he's starting to question his own sanity.
Right.
It's understandable. He's dealing with the unknown on multiple levels, and his scientific worldview is being constantly challenged. But amidst all this uncertainty, there's a glimmer of hope.
Okay.
Jesus reminds him of the nitzitz, that spark of the divine within that can guide him through the darkness.
It's like he's being given a roadmap
Right.
for navigating the mysteries of this era, and perhaps even the mysteries of his own existence.
Wow.
But this inner journey is just beginning.
And it sounds like we're just scratching the surface of what this book has to offer.
I think so.
In part 3, we'll delve deeper into the implications of the nitzitz,
Okay.
the strange events that continue to unfold in Benitez, and the final thought-provoking message Jesus leaves with the time traveler.
Sounds good.
Don't go anywhere. Okay, so we're back for the final part of our deep dive into Caballo de Troya 8 Jordán. And let me tell you, this is where things get really mind-bending.
Okay.
We left off with the time traveler struggling to reconcile his scientific mindset with the mystical experiences he's having. Right. And Jesus is encouraging him to connect with his inner wisdom that nitzitz spark.
Yeah.
So what exactly is this nitzitz, and why should we care?
It's more than just like individual potential. You know, Jesus describes the nitzitz as a network of light. A web of energy that binds all of creation together.
Yeah, okay.
And it's not just something that's like out there.
Oh, right.
You know, it's within us.
Yeah.
It challenges us to see beyond the illusion of separateness.
So we're all connected by this divine spark. That's a pretty radical idea.
It is. And Jesus emphasizes that this connection isn't something that we need to earn or strive for. It's already there.
Okay.
Inherent in our very being.
Okay.
Which I have to say is a pretty refreshing perspective.
Yeah.
Compared to some religious teachings that focus on sin.
Right.
And the need for redemption.
It's like he's saying, hey, you're already perfect. Right. You're already connected to the divine. Just remember that.
Exactly.
But if we're all connected by this divine spark, why is there so much suffering in the world?
That's the age-old question, isn't it?
Yeah.
And while Jesus doesn't offer like a simple answer,
right,
he does suggest that suffering often arises from our own choices.
Okay.
From our separation from the nitzitz.
So it's like we have the potential for incredible connection and love, but we also have the capacity to disconnect from that source and create our own suffering.
Right. And that's where this other concept, tikkun, comes into play.
Okay. I'm going to need you to break this down for me.
Sure.
What is tikkun?
So,
and how does it relate to the nitzitz?
Think of tikkun as the process of repairing that inner brokenness.
Okay.
Of realigning ourselves with the nitzitz. Yeah. It's a journey of self-discovery, of peeling back the layers of ego and illusion to reveal the truth of who we are.
That sounds like a lot of work.
It can be.
Is it even possible to, like, fully achieve this tikkun?
It's not about reaching a final destination.
Okay.
But rather about continuously striving towards greater wholeness and connection.
Right.
It can involve facing our shadow selves, confronting our deepest fears and insecurities.
Okay.
But Jesus assures the time traveler, and by extension all of us, that it's a journey worth taking.
He's basically saying, hey, life can be messy.
Yeah.
You're going to screw up. You're going to get lost.
Right.
But don't worry.
Yeah.
That divine spark is always there waiting for you to reconnect.
That's right.
And that's what makes this message so powerful.
Yeah.
It's a message of hope, of resilience, of the inherent goodness within each of us.
Exactly.
But the Nitzitz isn't just about our connection to the divine. It's also about our connection to each other, right?
It is.
So it's like we're all plugged into this cosmic internet, sharing information and energy on a deeper level.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
Jesus suggests that we can tap into the wisdom and experiences of others through the Nitzitz, expanding our own consciousness and understanding.
So it's a two-way street.
Right.
It's not just me connecting to the divine, it's me connecting to the divine and everyone else who's also connecting to the divine.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's a reminder that we're not isolated individuals, but rather interconnected beings, contributing to the collective evolution of humanity.
Okay. My mind is officially blown. We've got time travel UFOs, a mysterious man with extra long arms, and now we're talking about a cosmic internet connecting all of humanity.
It's a lot to take in.
This is one wild deep dive.
It is.
But remember that phrase Jesus kept repeating, Omega is the beginning?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that one threw me for a loop. What was that all about?
It's a concept that challenges our linear understanding of time.
Okay.
Jesus explains that Omega, which typically represents the end, is actually a new beginning.
Okay.
A stepping stone to a higher level of awareness.
So it's like climbing a spiral staircase? Each revolution brings us to a new vantage point.
Right.
A new perspective on the journey.
Exactly. The end isn't something to be feared.
Okay.
It's an opportunity for transformation, for rebirth. And it ties into the overall message of the Nitzitz, embracing the cyclical nature of life, death, and rebirth. We are eternal beings on a continuous journey of evolution.
Wow. So as we wrap up this deep dive into Caballo de Troya 8, Jordán, what's the final takeaway? What do you want our listeners to ponder?
If, as Jesus suggests, there is a spark of God within us all, a Nitzitz that connects us to each other and to the source of creation, how might that change our understanding of ourselves, our relationships, and our place in the universe?
It's a big question.
It is.
But one that's definitely worth pondering.
It is.
Maybe the answers aren't out there in the cosmos, but within ourselves waiting to be discovered through that divine spark within.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us on this wild ride through time, spirituality, and the mysteries of the universe.
This was a good one.